Before we continue with editing our composite for project 3, I want to teach you about the transform and warp tools in Photoshop. So to explain this better, I've attached to this lesson a downloadable file called Transform Tommy. So I want you to go ahead and open that up in Photoshop right now. You'll see that there's two layers in this file. There's Tommy and then a background. So with Tommy, we want to talk about how we can use different transform and warp tools, right? So if you go here to edit, you see a few different transform options. I need to have a layer selected to actually be able to see those. So edit, we have content aware scale, puppet warp, perspective warp, free transform, then transform, and we have a bunch of options in here. So first, let's talk about how we can rotate and flip our layer. Be careful with these because there is a very similar option in image and then image rotation. You can flip, but this will flip your entire canvas and not just your layer. So if I flipped a 180 here, it would flip my whole canvas 180 degrees. I don't want to do that. So the image transforms will affect your whole document. Under Edit Transform, it'll affect whatever layer you had selected. So if I have Edit Transform and then go to Rotate 180 degrees, it'll just rotate the Tommy layer right here. So we can rotate Tommy. We can also flip horizontally and flip vertically. So that just takes your axis right here. It'll flip him along the horizontal axis. And then we have some other options up here. So let's undo what we did just now and reset Tommy to his default state. So if we go to Edit, Free Transform, this does the exact same thing as pressing Ctrl-T. It brings up this transform box and we can scale it up, we can scale it out, we can scale it down, whatever we want to do. Remember, when we do these adjustments, if we hold Shift while making the adjustment, it will scale uniformly along the horizontal or along the height and width, so it won't distort your image at all. And then if you click Ctrl-T and if you hold down Alt while you transform, it'll transform from the center of your image. And then if you hold down Shift and Alt, it will transform uniformly from the center of your image. So clicking Ctrl-T brings you to the free transform box, or you can go to Edit, Free Transform. So let's look under the options we have here. So we can transform the scale, rotation, then we can skew, distort, perspective, and warp transform. So let's talk about these. So if we go to rotate, it'll take me to my rotate tool, which is available under the free transform box, but here I can only use that, as opposed to if I click Ctrl-T, I could scale it up or rotate it. So it just makes it a little bit more of a selection if you don't want to like accidentally do something or something like that. Then we can go to skew, and along skew, this isn't available in the free transform box. So this is important to note. You can go near one of the corners or one of the sides of the selection, and you'll get this little icon with that double arrow, and then you can drag and skew the image based on that. Remember, we used this to match up the water on the windshield in our first project. So this is exactly just what we did. If you drag one of the corners, it'll skew both of the edges touching that corner. Okay, then we could go to Edit, Transform, Distort. Distort allows you to grab an edge and skew it, but you can also scale it up and down as well. Next, we can go to Edit, Transform, and Perspective. Perspective allows you to just basically make it change the perspective of your image. So if you drag a corner, it'll drag both corners out, both corresponding corners outward to make it look like it's changing perspective of your layer. So those are some of the basic transform tools that we can use in Photoshop.